in a panel when I started, telling a Protestant about how we perceive soteriology, okay? Mm-hmm. And I told him that we believe that in the normative manner and the extra-normative manner, that if God, outside of the boundaries of the visible church, decides to graft you in his body, then it's up to him. Mm-hmm. The interpretation that he got out of this is that, so there is salvation outside of the Orthodox Church, so I can stay where I am and I'm comfortable with it. That's why,
say stuff like that, because that's exactly what I'm worried they're going to hear.
Right, that's what they do here.
So many. Yeah. Even if you tell them that when you go inside, your car, don't you buckle up? Yes, but don't you turn on your lights? Don't you pay attention to the signals on the street? You do. How can you say that if God wills it, I'm gonna get inside my car, gonna start driving like a maniac, and I'm gonna leave it up to God to save me? But this is what exactly people outside of the church are doing with their souls.
That's right.
They're playing Hunger Games. They're playing Hunger Games with their eternal soul. If you tell them, close your eyes and drive your car, they will never do it. Ever.
That's
but
right.
When it's about their soul, they trust their own little brain instead of God's magnanimous and immense wisdom. I can understand the allure, though, guys.
I think the allure also isn't just the ego, it's this reductionism of like, what's the bare minimum I can do to get by so I can still sin or I can still do X, Y, Z. It's not like, what's the fullness of Christ? I want the fullness of Christ because I love Christ. It's what do I have to really give up? Like, I don't want to have to give up that. I could just reduce this to this, and this I can still be comfortable, and I have my fire insurance, and that's it. And I literally knew Protestants that would call it their fire insurance. They would actually call it that. I got my fire insurance. You got your fire insurance? You believe in Jesus? And that's all they look at it as.
Exactly. That's the allure of Protestantism, is that it's this bare minimum thing. Whereas, I've said it before and I'll say it again, with Holy Orthodoxy, what we're going for is not the bare minimum. What we desire in Holy Orthodoxy is to be maximalists for Christ. What is the maximum? One of my favorite stories is the story of Saint Elder Zosima, who was out in the desert, and his disciple came to him and said, "Father, Elder, what can I do?" And he said, "Go pray this prayer." So he does, and eventually, every day the guy is coming back. What more can I do? What more can I do? And finally, the guy basically has like 16 hours a day of stuff that he's doing, and he comes to his elder, so there's literally nothing more that he could do, and he says, "Still, what more can I do?" And Elder Zosima lifted up his hands and said, "You can become fire." And in that moment, his hands became glowing like coals of fire, and this young monk saw the uncreated light. And the first time that I heard that story, I was a Protestant, and I was like, this is so weird, like, oh, this sounds weird or whatever. But the more I thought about that story, the more I came to love it. Because it's like, no matter what, with Christ, all things are possible. That means that no matter how much you're doing for God, you could always be doing more. No matter how holy you become, you could always be holier. No matter how saintly you are, you could always be saintlier. No matter how wise you are, you could always be wiser.